Yes. Well, shouldn't be too difficult, actually. You are paid up for the month, so there'll be no issue of payment needed here. In fact, let me see. Your next payment would have been due in another 2 weeks. We might actually be able to arrange a compensation for half of your month's payment.
Well, I was going to say, don't you normally have something where if the place isn't destroyed, they get some more money back too? Security deposit. She doesn't know the term.
Yeah, it's like, yes, we do have that as well, though unfortunately we can't freely give that until somebody is over there to investigate the place ourselves, but, well, I'm not doing anything at the moment. Perhaps I could go check.
You would have the guildmaster investigate a property.
My dear, I may be the trade master, but I do a great number of things.
Yes, I'm
I
sure.
usually like to leave competent members to oversee things when I'm away, but it appears that my skill at choosing properly competent members has been lacking in recent months.
Well, let us lead you there then. Lily's going to force politeness, sir.
And I'll kind of chuckle at this. You don't need to force yourself to be polite for me, miss. And the three of them will head back towards the dwarf shop.
It's the only way it can be. Anyways.
And as they're walking, Roland will address Lily. It's like, I know you do not like me, miss, but do not think you have to force politeness for my sake.
I'm more forcing it for the dwarf's sake. She's just gonna smile at him.
And the dwarf, of course, has no clue what happened between the two of them, and he's just going to lead them back to the shop. And getting back to the shop itself, you see Roland kind of looks around the cleaned-up shop, notices how it's empty, checks on everything to make sure everything is taken care of, cleaned up, and he'll kind of nod his head. Ah, yes, this looks to be in very fine order, the best I can see. So, I believe we will be able to arrange the deposit that you made when you first took this place as well, in addition to the month's rent, which you will not be using it.
Okay.
Well, 2 weeks, but yeah.
Yeah, the
Hush.
2 weeks.
Hush.
Part that he's not using. And at this point,
So
unless
Lily's gonna
Liz-
hold her hand out. Okay. And then, money.
and Roland will look at Lily and say, "I apologize, miss. The money, of course, goes to the dwarf. It is
Oh, yes,
his
of course.
establishment."
But you will
And he'll
hand it
he'll
to her.
reach for a pouch and he'll pull out and he'll count out several coins, gold and platinum, and give them to the dwarf.
Lily's gonna ask the dwarf if he's satisfied.
And the dwarf will nod like, "Yes, very satisfied. Thank you, sir. You're not bad for And Roland kind of laughs at this. Perhaps you might. Yes. I'd advise you to also be careful with that tongue. I do not mind myself, but there are far too many who do. Good day, sir." And he goes off to leave himself.
Lily's just gonna shake her head after he leaves and go, elves. Right?
And the dwarf will nod a lot at that. Aren't you one? Well, half of one?
A half elf, but the human side's better.
Kind of chuckle at that. Perhaps you're right.
We can't choose who our parents are.
Aye, that's true, but we always stick by our clan.
Usually. Let's get you out of here.
Alright, and I expect with that everyone's going to be meeting back up at the inn again for the little agreement, except for Falana. Was Falana going to keep reading her little, or keep writing in spells, or was she going to check on the library first?
She'll keep writing the spells, because honestly that needs to get done so she could actually tell the spells.
Also, there's a library in Northbridge, right?
There's a library in Northbridge, which she did not visit.
She really didn't have a chance to visit it.
Yeah, and you might have the chance to visit when you go back north.
Yeah.
Hint, hint, wink, wink.
Nudge, nudge.
But she's still writing on the spells, so she
Alright.
needs to tell the spells.
Do you have a name for the dwarf, or are we just gonna keep calling him the dwarf?
Drunken
I
bastard.
really should have had a name prepared for him,
We'll just
but
call him the dwarf for now.
The
on
drunken
the door
bastard.
for now. I'll have a name for him in like a moment. We can call the dwarf. Do I want to call him Adric?
Dwalin.
I'll call him Adric.
Edric.
Adric the dwarf.
Idric.
Edric.
He's
Yeah.
gonna mispronounce that. No, she's not. She's fluent in Dwarven.
Yeah, so Adric the dwarf. And you all meet back at the tavern, and so yeah, Falana would have copied in more spells.
Mm-hmm.
So I expect there's going to be like a minor meeting in the tavern right now.
Yes, mummy.
Unless Falana attempts to, Lily's going to try to keep the dwarf away from Falana as much as possible. Just for Falana's sake.
And the dwarf will have no objection to this attempt.
I still refuse. We have no reason to assist him outside of maybe taking him to Ashenport and kicking his ass out. It's the most logical sense. We're not going out of our way.
Lily's gonna ignore. Let's take you to our transportation device.
I am going to kick your ass.
Alright, are we all going now?
One moment, I'm just questioning what the hell the kids are doing.
So is anyone else objecting to go to the apparatus?
I thought Falana was going to sell the
I'm-
spells first.
Yeah, we need to sell the spells first and foremost before we even consider leaving. The dwarf can wait here. The rest of us can go right quick.
Yeah, go ahead and sell your spells.
Yeah.
Lily's
So I
gonna,
would
Lily's gonna stay with the dwarf.
I'm gonna leave these in my inventory for now. It's only because it's where I have the only list of it right now. So I'll just copy it down later when I get a chance. However, what you see in my inventory, outside of suggestion, which I did take out. Everything else should be up for sale, and I'm just gonna copy paste those.
How many
if I
spells is
had
it? Or how many levels of spells, I guess, probably might be the best.
20 levels.
You've done all of them in that amount of time?
Technically, she's been working on it for 2 days straight.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
usually 16
Yeah,
hours.
Yeah.
Keep in mind that her trance is less time.
Yeah, that's
she
true.
has extra hours a day. Not to mention, she's been working on it outside of food. So, she
Yeah, it's like
wasn't
she's been
staying-
doing nothing but this. No traveling, no nothing else. So she could have done it. The only time she left was when the fox was doing stuff, and at most that was like 2 hours. At most.
So, yeah, she's had time, and she's allotted for 3 days being here. So. Alright, so those are what I'm selling.
Alright, so those are what you're trying to sell. And which one are you going to first?
She is going to start with a level 1, so probably find familiar magic missile, floating
Yeah, who is she trying to sell them to first?
divination first.
Divination skill? Alright, well, here the ones that you can see that he is interested in is the Detect Thoughts. Find Familiar is a nice one to keep handy. Unseen Servant. And Dark Vision.
Okay. Wow, he's not interested in Fireball?
No, he has no need or want for Fireball.
Oh,
Do not sell that to the illusionists.
I'm going to talk to the illusionist.
Alright, so I don't remember what spell levels that's going to be for all of them or not.
Let's see, 2 for Detect Thoughts. You said Dark Vision, which is also 2, so that's 4. Unseen Servant, Find Familiar, that's going to be 6 levels worth.
Alright, so he's willing to offer 30 gold per spell level.
30 per spell level? Oh, that's the one he offered originally. You know what, I'll take it. So 6, 30,
Should be 90, I think.
180.
Yeah, 180. I did the math wrong in my head. Yeah, because I was
Alright,
thinking
let me
60
just-
for a spell, yeah.
Take these off of my list. And the rest are going to the Illusion School.
Alright,
Including
and
Fireball.
can you link the updated list now?
once I'm done updating it.
Fireball, knock, enlarge, reduce, 10 tiers, floating disc, and limit tiny hut.
In fact, there's a sorted version.
All right. So the new version, let's see. They here will be interested in, between the two of them, enlarge, reduce, knock.
They could do something
And rope
funny
trick.
with. I was thinking they could do something funny with the tiny hut.
Tiny Hut is useful for illusions for their axe. If only
Yeah,
because
and tiny hut. So tiny hut, rope trick, knock, enlarge, reduce.
They don't want fireball?
or floating disc. They probably have floating disc.
They have floating disc. Actually, I'm 90% sure that is one of the. Oh no, they already have hut, so they don't need that. So they'll take tiny hut, or they'll take floating disc instead of hut.
So that's 7 levels worth.
So that's 7, and they're only going to be willing to offer 20 gold per spell level because you've kind of already cheated them once.
I did not cheat you.
The group as a whole cheated them.
Hey, we did what we
25.
promised. We pointed an arrow at the best.
22.
Just take it.
Yeah, 22.
So you're getting a 22 for every page you're selling.
Yep, I mean, every level.
Yeah, for every level you're selling, rather.
Times 7. Got it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Which I'll make sure, I will sit there and legitimately check every fucking coin in front of them to make sure.
Make sure
that
they're all gold.
Alright.
And they surprisingly don't try to cheat you at all with money. They do at least seem to take that seriously. Perhaps
I mean,
because
it's the
they've been
one
visited
thing-
by the town guard at least once over an issue of this.
Well, you see,
That-
the difference
that's
is if they did try to cheat me, I have Fireball now. I'm right here.
Yeah, probably still would have ended badly for you.
Then
Yeah, they would have ended badly for them, but then Falana ends up in jail.
I'll be gone before they catch me, so we're good.
You,
All right.
you forget there's a giant thing outside.
Shh. I also have invisibility. Um.
I'm sure it has true sight.
Alright. So, yeah, I'll go ahead and take the money. Are you sure you don't want Fireball? It is a useful spell.
Yeah, they have no need for it.
they don't want to make their
They have an
fireworks
agreement
display?
that they will not take any spell capable of killing either of them in one hit.
Okay, that fair enough.
Do you want to try selling it to the trade master?
You can try, though there'll be no interest there.
Well,
No,
he's
I'm
a
gonna-
trader.
Yeah, they'll still have no issue there in the pages of the magic book.
Okay.
Alright, so I'll just keep the rest for sale later. Probably in Ashenport. Yeah. Anyways. Alright, so back to the tavern.
All right. And now I suppose everyone's going back to the little spider tank to do some transportation.
Yep. While
Ye-
Falana was away, Lily is going to try to get the dwarf's story, like how did he get there and so on. You don't have to say it all right now, but she's curious.
Long story short, he was on a ship trying to sell for various various goods. There was supposedly an agreement here where he'd be able to sell a lot of goods in this town or this region, and it kind of just he got scammed.
Lily's going to just nod at that and say, "Well, hopefully we can make it so you can find a real place to sell your goods."
That is the hope. All right, so everyone at this point is going back to the lob tank, whatever it is, and going to be trying to get to Ashenport.
Alright, the dwarf is getting strapped to the ceiling.
No,
He's getting strapped to the roof.
no.
We'd rather strap Falana to the roof than the dwarf.
I'll strap all of you to the roof and I'll move this thing myself.
Yeah,
Alana hasn't told you what the instructions are for the thing. She's been the only one who's been actually driving it.
she has a
She
high
can
intelligence
sit
score.
there
She can
and
figure it out.
out quickly.
Yeah, Lily will not allow the dwarf to be treated as any less of a person than anyone else. And she will make that very clear to Falana.
You know, actually being a decent person.
You all good?
She's gonna
you know
hand
what?
Falana a clothespin. If you don't like it, use this on your nose.
All right.
Ashenport, then we kick him out.
So,
I have no need to go elsewhere.
You don't, but we can take him elsewhere.
all right. So, you all head back to the apparatus. Once again, surprise, surprise, the fox isn't staring contest with Cassidy.
Okay, since every other time the fox has won, also because Elana doesn't really like the fox that much, because it kept looking up people's skirts.
Well, Lily's gonna approach as well, so you can do your previous
No.
thing if you want.
Elana was going to sneak up behind it and then cast the thunderclap, which just creates a really loud bang right behind it.
All right. And you do that, and the fox will jump up in the air and kind of dart around surprised. And Cassie will kind of cheer as she finally wins a game against this. And the fox just kind of glares at Elana.
What? I wanted my friend to win.
Fair enough. All right, then. You're all here. Are we going to be going? And the dwarf, at this point, looks at the fox. Y'all found a talking fox?
It's my research partner.
Well, I was gonna say it's a long story.
Elves.
The short story is it's a talking fox.
All right. And then the fox continues.
Lily's gonna
It's much-
ask how the thing works that he said he found works, and how.
All right. Well, from what I can see, it's should just be an automatic thing. There's with that crystal in there, it kind of made a, and he kind of makes him look. Well, I was able to sneak in finally. And he glances over at Cassidy. Took you long enough to let me get in there. He doesn't actually say that, but that's the glare you can kind of tell from the look he's doing. When I got in there, I kind of looked around, and I feel like that crystal in there kind of has a magical aura. And looking down at the bottom, there were symbols there, and I think the symbols match some of that circle over there.
It's probably the crystal matched in with a device, probably a similar setup to what we found with the Wayfinder originally,
So
which means it's probably the same thing.
So it's a Stargate.
Yeah.
Just as a heads up, we lost Alto.
I think he's back. Ish.
He's dead.
So
I really don't want to restart the call. Is Alto here?
it shows him as
One
here.
moment.
No, Alto just dropped the call.
I'll be
Yeah,
right back.
Oh,
Just
he's
screening.
dropping again. Right. So what do? We just pick random symbols?
It's not quite like that. The symbols themselves, it's not like Stargate where anything locks in. It just looks more like a ritual circle, somewhat inscribed. It's very hard to see until you, except for like with how close it is, there's a very, very faint glow. It's much more noticeable with like a detect magic.
Lily is going to use investigate to see if she can find exactly what symbols to press, if that's okay with you.
Sure.
Yes!
As far as Lily can tell, these aren't even symbols to push.
Lily's like, yeah, I knew you were crazy when you were talking fox, but this is just a little odd.
And the fox will kind of just frown at this. So why don't we all just get in and move?
Can't hurt. Lily's going to get in. Lead the dwarf in, too.
All right, and
I think it might be you and me right now.
yeah, I think it honestly is, unless Alto is properly back in the call.
Can you guys hear me?
Can hear
Yep.
you now.
I lost everything after the dwarf going elves.
Yeah,
All
we're-
right. So the long story short, the fox explaining how this probably works is he saw like the crystal kind of resonates a little bit being this close to the circle, and there's very, very faint magical energy coming from the bottom. Actually, Lily looking at it, she can't even see the symbols. It's only visible through like a detect magic or something similar.
Because there's just not enough room to slide down under
No,
there.
not even that. Not even that. There's no visible symbols.
Oh,
It's just magic. So the fox can apparently see the magic of it.
okay.
Can we assume Falana would at least do a ritual detect magic and figure it out?
We can assume that's possible, yes. So we can assume that she would have done that as well, yes. And with that, the fox suggested everyone should just get in the vehicle and try moving forward over the circle.
Alana will make sure it's set to TARDIS mode.
Yep. Well, the crystal I expect was already lodged in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then everybody will slowly climb into the back. The dwarf still seems kind of wary, but he's a lot more happy to be in a device made of metal than anything else in particular.
Leia's gonna
She'll
tell
inform him, don't touch anything. It's a very tricky contraption, and I have everything how I like it.
Lily's gonna tell him to hold on to his socks.
And the dwarf will kind of nod up with that. It's like, all right, I'll just sit over here and try not to touch anything. I don't want to mess with someone else's tools. And Aldrich...
Sorry about that. A child ended up like falling onto a toy and scraping their knee.
Oh.
Fun.
We
Yeah,
assumed
so-
you cast detect magic as a ritual to figure things out.
What would be?
With a
Yeah,
tank.
the symbols and everything that's on the bottom of the tank, it's not actually visible, but with a detect magic or something similar, you can see it.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're assuming you did that to confirm what the fox was saying. And then, yeah, and then
Probably
everyone was going to climb into the contraption and walk over the circle, which you ended up here initially.
Also, just as a note, once we go over the circle, Alana's going to close the windows so nobody gets motion sick.
Before we even do that, she is going to draw down the circle from both locations, under and before one where we're going over, to see if they line up at all to what she saw previously. Make sure to see if it is maybe a location that the two gates have.
So I assume she's gonna copy down the symbols required and so on.
Yes, if only because she may have to draw one out herself in the very near future.
All right. The symbols themselves, I'm going to say there's 2 rings. The outer rings are identical. The inner rings, there are slight variances in.
I'm guessing inner circle's destination, while the outer circle's the actual destination.
Setup.
Or, yeah. It's either destination or it's basically an identifier.
And you get into the it's not little, the lobster tank, and at this point you close the hatch behind you. You walk over the circle, and as you walk closer, you can see out the front hatch that the circle itself starts to glow. And once you're fully over it, you feel it's kind of like a lurching motion as everything is just shifted forward. And Alana was going to close the hatch, so I can't even describe what you see.
Because she just remembered last time Cassidy got sick.
Cassidy
And-
Cassidy got sick because she went through unprotected.
Well,
We're protected to leave it open.
We could, but I don't want to take chances of somebody throwing up in here.
Ilana likes
That
it
would
clean.
take a while to clean.
Or
It would take a while to
prestidigitation.
clean.
Don't worry, we can make the dwarf clean it.
You also don't know what's going on. Like, you can tell you're in something, but you have no idea what.
We still need to be able to see what's happening. That's the downside of closing everything, because we're completely blind to the outside now.
So how long is this taking? Is this like taking a while? Should Lily pull out her playing cards?
You don't know. You've only been in there for, like, not even a minute.
So I guess Alana will open it, the windows.
Yeah, so opening the windows again, you can see that outside it's kind of a weird Technicolor mishmash. It seems like it feels like you're underwater, and the way the thing is moving, it's more like it's swimming than anything else. And you can see, like, there's currents that you're following, and the current that you're in currently seems to be heading north, you think? You can't really tell. It's going in a direction.
We need a compass.
And you see that there are several other branches going off, but the path you're on currently leads to, it's like a glowing point in the distance.
You
And
might be
Alright.
overshooting a little.
I
Yeah.
think we know how to navigate now.
yeah, are you going to be trying to steer towards it? Because the current isn't exactly the easiest thing to. Like, you probably wouldn't be wise to assume it'll carry you right
Yeah.
towards it. All right.
I guess I'll be trying to then, yeah.
So Alana fighting with the various control mechanisms. What would be a good test for this?
Probably
She
an
knows the
unskilled
mechanisms.
dex.
She knows the mechanisms. Yes.
Unskilled dex.
Yeah, let's go with an
Gotcha.
unskilled dex for this.
Because piloting's typically
Can
a dex.
Lily aid
I'll allow Lily to aid, yes.
so you get free advantage?
All right,
Well-
so the first time through, and you're messing with all the levers with Lily's aid and everything else, and you still, despite your best efforts, you feel like you just barely missed the light. The current, however, isn't carrying you too far around. It seems to be coming back around once more, so you have a second shot at it, and seeing the closer light at it, you feel like you might be a better chance to line up with it and go right into this light.
Try again.
Yep.
You want Lily to do it with okay, never mind. Lily's
Doesn't
gonna
matter.
help still.
No, this
it-
is Alana's controls. You do not touch her controls without her permission.
Well, that means
and
she can't
on
help.
this.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah, and then this pass back around the second time going through, you manage to get into this glowing circle, and everything seems to lurch around for a moment still. And when you end, you see a familiar park in front of you.
Hey.
Oh, it does work. And I believe we just discovered how to navigate it as well. Interesting.
Lily's
A
gonna
lot-
toss a copper coin at the fox. That's because I wasn't sure it was gonna work.
And the fox will look at the coin. A copper. Oh, good to know your cheap date.
Oh.
Okay, a silver. I didn't have
And
any
he just
copper
laughs
coins
at and the
anyways.
fox seems very pleased with himself.
I didn't
To
have
be
a copper
fair,
coin
it's
anyways.
typically, it's not the woman paying you, it's the other way around. So I guess she is really cheap.
All right, and at this, I suppose Alana's going to open the hatch back out so people can get out.
I can tell the pain is subsiding because Lily jokes are not making me hurt.
And as you all get out, and Cassie's probably one of the first to get out and get back on the ground because you told the entire journey she was kind of holding her stomach. She didn't really enjoy things overall. And getting out, you actually see, in much the same position as before you left, little research station that Chase and Falana had shut up is Chase, and she looks astonished.
Lily's gonna say hi. Back.
So,
You're all back. What is this?
It's a bob
Some
tank.
form of
It's our
contraption.
lobster tank. It is very interesting.
No big deal.
Oh, this is that? I didn't realize it was that big. Cassie mentioned it in Descending.
Yes, it's also linked directly, similarly as the Wayfinder we found originally.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Same designer, too.
Really?
While
Yeah,
they're chatting,
and then-
Lily's gonna take the dwarf to Father O'Malley O'Brien O'Connor III.
And when they
O'Sullivan
get-
O'Connor the Third.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah, when they get there, Father O'Malley will look at the dwarf and say, "Ah, what's this, miss? You brought another follower to me."
It's a stray.
And Aldrich, at this point, there's like almost tears in his eyes, and he just rushes forward and hugs O'Malley, muttering something about, "Finally, another kinsmate!" And O'Malley just looks confused, but he kind of hugs him back.
I'll give you two a few minutes, and she's gonna head back to the group.
Serina, if Serina is in range to explain, she says to O'Malley, he was stuck in a town of only elves trying to smell dwarven craftsmanship to them.
And
Give him
O'Malley's
some
just
time.
like, "Oh, it's hardly a worse punishment for what must be a fine smith."
Yes, just give him some time.
Of course, of course.
Send him back to me when he's done. I have his stuff.
All right. And is there anything else you can do right here now that you're finally back in Ashenport? I expect Chase will have sent for the bear, or Chase actually can't send for the Baron. If anyone asks, he's actually going to mention that he is away.
Can you
On
tell me
business.
where?
He went down to Northbridge. He was working out an agreement with some merchants.
Where's Mara?
Oh, she's at the inn. You can go speak to her right now. She's in the room that you had purchased for her.
Leave it to Lily to immediately ask for her maid.
Alright, let's lock up the lobster tank here and take it off the circle.
Can we?
Let's
It'd be off the circle. When you went through the little
can
glowing
we
area,
take
you ended up probably 5 feet, 10 feet away from it.
Can we
have
buy
you been
like
able to
a
remove the
padlock?
Wayfinder?
I'm not going to say you'd be able to buy a padlock, but you could probably figure out some locking mechanism on it.
Oh, yeah, there
Or
is
we
a-
just use arcane lock on it. I mean, I'm pretty sure Chase, or I don't have it yet. Chase has it
I
probably.
don't know if Chase has it, to be honest.
It's a second level spell. She might.
Well, I mean, Lily can go craft a lock for it in a little bit if no one can do anything better.
Well, if anything, we can find a scroll for arcane lock. It lasts until this spell.
I
need
just
one.
don't like the idea of mixing magic.
It's technically already Magitech. We probably just add something else to it without problem.
It's the difference when you're thinking. What you mean when you add magic together is okay. Let's take this fireball and add a lightning bolt to it. That's not what we're doing here. We're taking an object.
We're talking
placing a
about
spell
Lily
on
here.
it.
She doesn't really understand magic.
Yeah, I know. And
Yeah.
that's what Alana's explaining.
We'll
Okay.
put a lock. If we put a lock on it, it should be okay. This is technically a magical device as it is. However, you could take a door that's typically enhanced for durability and still put an arcane lock on it and not affect anything else.
This is all
Which-
going over Lily's head. She's just going to say, if you break it, you buy it. And she's going to head back towards the dwarfs.
Technically, I'm more afraid of you breaking it than anything else, but we'll leave it at that.
All right. Is there anything you want to take care of up there still?
No. I mean, after has Chase been able to remove the Waygate?
And she'll shake her head. It's like, no, the device itself is still firmly lodged there.
Really? I figured it might have come loose by now. I wonder if it's a navigational beacon.
Possibly. She hadn't actually considered that course of thinking yet, so she doesn't actually have much to say about that.
Alright, well, for now, let's lock it up. We can go get the supply and something to lock it up from your house, I believe. And then we can discuss matters in private.
All right.
How long have we been away?
You have been away no more than a week.
No,
I thought it was like a week and a half or something like that.
I think it's about a week you've been away.
Okay, so
I'll say a week and a half just to be sure.
so Lily doesn't owe anything more, right?
Not yet, no.
Okay.
Very soon, but not yet.
Yep. So Lily's gonna go back to the dwarves. Are they still hugging? Man hugging?
No, they're no longer none of that. They're just kind of talking to each other at this point.
Lily's going to politely interrupt and say, "There's a forge in the corner of town, and if it's okay with you, I'll put your stuff there."
And he'll kind of think about this like, that sounds fine. You mind if I take a look as well?
Sure, you can come with me. I just have to stop by the inn first.
Yep, and he'll follow Lily for this.
And she's going to stop by the inn first.
Yep.
Mara, I'm home.
And Mara will... I expect she would have been downstairs cheating against Garrett at cards. To be honest, they were both cheating, though.
Of course. Who cheated better?
They haven't actually gotten to that part yet.
Oh, man.
But Mara will turn around and see Lily. Oh, welcome back, miss. How was your vacation?
Well, I got a cool weapon, and I may have tried to
And
assassinate
you can see
someone.
that Mara is particularly looking at Lily's hair and ears.
And my ears and hair.
I see. That's quite the interesting thing. You'll have to tell me about it later.
Yeah, I'll also have to tell you about the person I almost killed. So let's, can we go down to the forge? Are you busy right now?
No, I'm not busy right now.
Let's head on down to the forge.
And she'll join Lily as we go down to the forge.
Alright, so they're gonna head down there. And Lily's gonna take the stuff out of the bag of holding that belongs to the dwarf and set it up for him.
All right. And when you get down to the forge and Lily starts doing that, Mara will be helping, the dwarf will be helping, etc., etc. And at some point, like, Lily can see that Arashi is there and he's working, and at some point he'll stand up and he'll look over to address Lily, who's finally returned, and the expression at first is very happy, and then it quickly goes south. Those things still exist? I thought we destroyed them all.
Lily's gonna say, that's not a nice thing to say about dwarf. Oh, wait, you're not an elf. What are you talking about?
We try on a regular basis. We still haven't succeeded.
And he'll kind of point at his head around where Lily's ears are.
But it's just gonna. Oh, my ears. Yeah, they're She's gonna wiggle her ears. They're nice, aren't they?
Where did you get those? They were supposed to have all been destroyed.
I don't remember. I think there was a festival, and someone gave it to me, and that was it.
And I'll kind of just lean back against the door. He looks rather annoyed, mostly with himself more than like Lily or anything.
Lily's going to say, it's okay, I don't mind too much. Actually, I was wondering if you had any more.
You want more? Those things were made on a drunken dare.
Well, maybe ones that aren't quite as, she tugs at the ear, permanent?
Should be easy enough to remove those with some magic. And he walks up, and you can see him mutter, or he can walk up, you can see him get ready to mutter a few words, then he stops. If you'll allow me to remove them, it's polite to ask before casting magic on someone.
It is polite. Well, see, here's the thing. I kind of like them. I was wondering if maybe you could get some for a friend of mine, like a new set.
And he kind of looks really not the happiest at that comment, but roll a persuasion check.
What's going on now?
Lily's getting more ears.
From who?
Arashi.
And he'll sigh. You seriously want more of them?
Well, I feel a lot more acrobatic with them.
Yes, the agility of a cat, I know. Look, I might be able to make more. I will need two things, though. I will need the materials to make them, and I would also like you to at least allow me to remove the curse that makes them permanent.
I guess. Sure.
And he raises his hand again, and he conjures the spell, and the ears are no longer cursed. So if Lily really tried, she could remove them.
She's gonna lift up on them just to test it and put them back on her head.
Yeah, like she pulls on it, she can feel it kind of lift away. It doesn't really hurt as the ears are pulled away, but it's like she can tell she can remove them now.
Does she have her own ears back?
No.
So when her ears go away, what happens? Is she deaf?
It's more the fact that like there's like the headband back between them, and she can pull the headband away, but the ears are still there. And he kind of just frowns at that still. It's like, of course. Damn that magic.
You seem to be really good at enchanting things.
Yes, because I can make a cursed pair of ears on a drunken bet, which have done nothing but cause trouble.
You want to know what I would have done on a drunken bet? Never mind. Let's hold that for later.
And he kind of smirks at that. So, yeah, he really can tell that his attitude is probably a bit better now.
All right. So Lily is going to say she found some interesting things, and she's going to show him the fire mushrooms. And she's going to say, "Is there anything you can do with these?"
And he'll look over the fire mushrooms, and he'll just remark, "This is rather interesting stuff. It's very basic, but the powder from these could be used in weapon crafting."
In weapon crafting, you say?
It depends on the weapon. It could also be used for an armor enchantment, though you don't have nearly enough for that.
What would it need? Or what would it do, I guess she's going to say.
Well, if you were to add it with a weapon and add it in the proper way so it doesn't wear off rather quickly, you could likely make it so that the weapon has fiery attributes to it.
She's going to show him her great sword, like this weapon.
And he'll look over the two mushrooms again. Yes. What is there, 2 or 3 left?
I think just 2. Let me check. Yeah, 2 red shrooms. She also has 2 yellow shrooms and 3 orange shrooms. I don't think you want to use rust on the weapon, though.
Probably not.
No.
And I look over the great sword again, the 2 mushrooms. That's going to be a fine amount. You might have exactly what you need, and if you mess up once, you would be unable to do it.
Well, that's why I have the greatest craftsman of all with me. 2 of them.
And he kind of just smirks. Yes, well, I wouldn't be able to do it simply for chump change, you know.
Man. Well, at least I got a dwarf. She's going to turn to the dwarf. What about you?
And the dwarf kind of shakes his head. I know nothing about magic.
Right.
Instantly lost.
Okay. Arashi. Can you teach me how to enchant my weapons?
And he kind of looks surprised at that comment. There is an interesting idea. Why do you want to learn?
Because fiery weapons are cool as crap.
Roll persuasion with that.
She's going to have a great big old grin on her face.
And he kind of shakes his head. I apologize, miss, but I would need a better reason than simply that.
Okay, so in addition to, I think we can all agree that fire weapons are cool, right? Right? She's going to look at the dwarf, right? Yeah? Okay. I also want to help protect my friends.
Roll another persuasion. Fun fact. Yeah, fun fact. I was going to give you advantage for
Yes!
the exact comment you were saying, and he'll nod a lot at that. That is a much better reason. I may be persuaded to do this. I could help you teach you how to do this yourself, though I will have to leave the actual enchanting to yourself.
Well, I was going to say, and of course, I'd be willing to pay you a fee to help me.
Of course, of course. And you did mention you wanted more of those ears made, did you not?
Yeah.
I would have to go over my notes to see what I did, and he kind of looks a little apprehensive, primarily because his notes are probably written in a drunken stupor.
Alright, maybe someone else wants to do stuff while...
Yeah. What else are other people going to do?
What you're going to see with those notes is probably like, insert, but it's going to be like a scribble. You're going to be like, what the hell is that?
At some point, there's going to be, in just 3.5 gallons, exactly of alcohol. Only of this particular make, and it must be from this year.
Actually, no, it couldn't be from that year because the alcohol content would have changed due to the fact that it would have fermented longer, so he'll need to do
it has
the
to be
math.
from that year.
Not to mention, it's also going to involve him finding a stash of something he made, and the directions are going to be like, walk, 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 crawl, crawl, roll.
Tanga.
Alright, so other people's tasks.
After maybe finding Arcane Lock as a scroll in Chase's house and locking the tank. Maybe?
I'll say as you're looking around, she actually recalls that it is actually in her spellbook. She's just never used it herself.
Remind me to get that off of you. I'll give you a couple spells in payment.
Alright.
And after that, Fox, Chase, and Falana can go, I don't know, Chase's house and basically compare notes of what the navigation was like, things like that, from inside the tank, detailed events of what actually happened. Just discussing the details.
Yeah, the fox will join you, but the fox does seem fairly bored.
Yeah. Well, I mean, come on. We're talking to a half-snake. It's actually rather unusual.
Well, the fox is not impressed.
Anyways, other than that, this little fella here was one who pointed out the writing on the bottom of the tank.
It's fairly easy to see when you're as small as I am. And Chase will look at the fox, a little confused at the talking fox, but she doesn't. She really takes it in stride, considering this is not the weirdest thing she's seen.
I mean, just look at her.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, Lily.
Well, Lily is Lily.
Lily's the
Lily
weirdest
is
thing
in a-
anyone's ever seen.
Lily doesn't count.
Yeah.
Lily's kind of in a realm of her own in the weirdness department, so after you see Lily, kind of nothing else surprises you anymore.
Yeah. And as the conversation goes on, the fox will make his own comment. And while we were going, I was looking around, though. I only saw the one bright light, as well as behind us, where I believe we came from. So there are only 2 points.
There are more points, and I'm going to basically compare the notes of the map that we found before, because I believe we did get the map for that. So
Well, no, I didn't see any other points in the circle. So
it's
either there's
prob-
another way to unlock them, or we just have to blunder around and hope we find it.
There were branching paths while navigating. I believe we may actually have to physically navigate to those locations, which could complicate matters.
Yeah, probably.
We need somebody who's experienced at sailing.
Not me.
Good thing we're in a port.
Not me. But that may be a requirement to continue navigating. I will
And-
point out the Oracle Lake one as well as the one underwater, apparently.
Yeah, and you're sharing the map as well. And as you go through all this, Chase will also look at the group, and this is a lot of interesting stuff. There is a lot of research that could still be done here, though several other things as well. Will you all be able to stay here in town for a period of time? We're also hopefully expecting a proper shipment to get walls and defenses set up.
Oh, he's finally taking care of that. Took long enough.
It was... there was a contact from one of the...
Shady
rulers.
people?
One of the shady people in Northbridge who made a comment that things might be able to work out properly now.
Fun days. Well, I may head over to Northbridge myself if I need to hit up their library. I'm sure you can understand.
Yes, of course. Just so long as you don't disappear to the other corner of the world again.
It's not on my agenda of things to do. While I'm here, I'm gonna basically the 3 spells that were in the original book, as well as like show the rest in my own spell book,
All right.
and I'm going to try to get Arcane Lock off.
Yeah, you can get Arcane Lock off of her. She's willing to give that to you for free, but you'll still need to actually pay the cost in ink.
Oh my, it's only 50 gold. Actually no, it's second level. It's 100 gold. Wait, is it second level or is it?
Pretty sure Arcane Lock is second level.
This one's coming out of your own purse.
I could pay for it out of my own purse. You know how much money I made off those spells? Like, seriously, you know how much money I made off those spells?
Yeah, after the
Arcane
100
Lock
gold,
is second level.
Yeah, so 100 gold.
after the 50 gold per level that you spent on them, you made a lot.
Actually, I did, technically.
Considering the
I made
50
a
gold
lot
came out of
about
party loot, she did make a lot.
that. I spent other people's money and made more.
All right, so
It
that's...
sounds like a business.
Let's see, looking at things now, we are about 4 hours in.
I'm just going to jot that down.
I am personally content to leave things off shortly, and then next week you'll have your whole little RP-ish session in the northern part of the continent.
I think I'm pretty much good. I don't
Can we just like finish the day?
Yeah, we can finish the day off still. We still have Alana and whatever Surina's going to do.
I honestly don't know what Elana is going to do.
With the lack of anything else to do, she can practice cooking.
Would, I'll allow this for time, but would Lily have mentioned anything about the other ears to any other characters?
What I was going to have Lily do is go back and mention it to Elana and bring her in for fitting.
Which, after Falana finishes recording Arcane Lock, she's going to lock the tank herself.
All right.
Because it is ritual.
Elana
Yeah.
does kind of need to keep the eye on the tank, though, just to make sure.
Oh no, it's locked up now. They're good.
Well, Cassidy can
Well-
keep an eye on it too.
True.
Yeah.
And Cassidy has been, and Cassidy will accept the offer to keep the watch on it. She's been doing it most well anyway, and just being back in familiar territory is enough of her that she seems a lot more relaxed.
I guess Elana will go in for fitting.
And
Well, as she was heading to Elana, she was also just going to peek an eye into the, crap, 3, whatever 3 is. Or is it 8? I don't know, where the fighters are. And she
I
just
think that
wanted
was
to...
3.
She just wanted to see how they're doing, just really quickly.
They
do
seem to be doing.
Do they look more trained? Do they look
They
more
look
together?
a little more trained than they were beforehand. They seem all pretty well set off. There's a few new people she hasn't seen before.
All right, good.
Wait, was there a way to open the hatch from the outside on the tank?
I'm pretty sure there is, actually. Let me check.
I was like, did we ever actually take the time to discover that? Because that's what's going to be required. What my plan is.
Yeah.
All right. I know that there is a hidden cache. So you can pull the catch and it opens up, and if you don't know it's there, it's hard to find.
I've still got arcane lock it just to make sure it doesn't get opened.
Yeah, so you could probably bring the legs in, bring the claws in, make it look like a large iron barrel.
Sweet. And then lock it up. Arcane lock. Done.
Just spray paint booze on the outside of it.
Yeah, and Alana will be up there while this is going on. I feel like Arashi would accompany Lily as they go up to try to find Alana, because I feel like Lily would have mentioned that that's who she was going to find.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah,
I was
so
going
he
to
would have
bring
followed her
Elana
up.
back, but okay.
Yeah, no, he's willing to follow her up.
Meanwhile, locking up the tank. We're done.
All right, so he gets there at the second. Yeah, the group as a whole gets there. So Lily's free to address Alana, let her know what's going on. So go ahead.
So Lily's going to explain basically that this is the guy who made the ears, and that she wants to get a pair for Alana too.
Just so you know, I just did the math. I think Alana's already filled up on
Attunement.
Yeah.
She's
got the cloak, the hat, and the pearl. The pearl. That's all 3 attunement slots.
Yeah.
However, if the ears that are cursed,
There's still going to be attunement.
okay, yeah,
It's
then
a cloak
no.
of protection, right?
Yes.
How much more AC would you get from Dex?
3 more.
So I think you might want to do that instead.
Oh, 2 more, so it'd be 1 better from Dex, but it would also give me 2 better Dex save.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 better dex save, 2 better with dex skills, so it'd be better overall.
Yeah, so we'll give the cloak to, I guess, Surina.
Don't do it yet until you actually have the
Right.
things in hand.
Yeah.
Because it might fail, or it might
All right,
cost too
so-
much.
Yeah, so is Alana going to then ask Arashi about it?
She'll just ask what all is going to do.
And he wasn't paying attention to her initially, so she'll get his attention. He was staring off at the iron bomb. What's it?
Tank.
The iron barrel, which is what the tank kind of pulled everything in to be.
This
Like,
is to help
oh.
you with getting drunk again.
No, please, I don't need to make this while drunk again. She apparently mentioned that she likes this drunken mistake that was those ears, and asked if I could make more for a friend of hers. Would you actually be interested in another pair?
Not for what they look like, but for what they do.
And I'll nod at that. He seems a bit more content with that response than anything else. That is a fair reason. I would be able to craft more, though I would need materials.
Lily's going to try to convince Alana. Come on, you need some cute animal ears. It kind of just goes with it.
Lily, I
But
know you
Cat,
don't want to feel
really?
lonely.
What about?
And he'll kind of shake his head. It's like, no, cat. We probably wouldn't find a cat of the proper size or breed in this region. You'd be more likely to find a wolf.
What about wolf ears?
So become one with Cassidy's family. Become her little sister.
We are not going to take Cassidy to kill wolves. Not going to happen.
No.
Go wolf hunting with the wolf. Nothing can go wrong.
I mean, we
Add
have
a little
fox.
sister.
A fox? A fox?
Short-lived GM character. Go, go, go.
Although I don't think that would go well.
No, it wouldn't.
No,
For
Falana
some
would kill
reason-
our dwarf.
Yeah.
Uh,
So you would need us to find a wolf?
That would be the most ideal solution, preferably one that already has some sort of magical skill. I actually do believe the so-called winter wolves of this northern region have a magical skill of some sort, though you would have to track one down.
okay, if we're going to go tracking, we actually need our wolf companion.
Although if you think about it,
Oh, Mara might be good at that too.
by default.
We might be able to take both.
Yeah.
Lily's,
It's an actual use out of Mara.
since we're within sight of the Bob tank, I'm assuming Lily can call Cassidy over and ask her if she's okay with this.
Yes, you will, and Cassie will be able to come over and she'll ask about that, and Cassie will nod. It's fine. They're not actually family.
All right.
So
Like, she seems a little bit more subdued when she says that, but she doesn't have any real issue trying to hunt down a winter wolf.
alright, so I think we should have Lily and Elana and Cassidy go off and do that by ourselves.
Yeah, and
I mean,
after the whole agreement
it's
is more or less
It's
made,
entirely possible to have Surina come with you.
yeah, you could have Surina go with you. After the whole little agreement there is made, Arashi is going to go back to looking at the
Tank.
Bob tank, the metal tank.
Back, you fell beast.
Hey, he's a nice
Look,
foul
don't-
beast.
Look, but don't touch.
It looks pretty banged up, if you ask me.
Oh, right. Do you think you can
We
fix it?
couldn't.
I might actually be able to. I'd have to look it over more.
Yeah, it's locked up. Sorry, I'm not unlocking it.
You haven't finished copying the spell yet. This is at the same time as you're copying the
Is
spell.
it?
You're not here.
Yeah.
Never mind then. Well, I'm locking up later, so better hurry.
Yeah, well, see, here's the thing. It's not going to heal, so we need to heal it up.
True. You're better we leave it here and
Also, you wouldn't really need to get inside of it to fix the outside of it.
Potentially.
Yeah, he would.
So
Like,
you can
at
still
most, he
lock it
might
up.
want to be able to have the legs or claws move so he can get to all of them, but he wouldn't actually need to do anything on the inside beyond
Yeah.
that.
Well, it's going to take him aside and say, here's the thing. We need absolute discretion on your matter with this.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
You are quite the honest one. Yes, I would have no problems with discretion regarding this.
All right, so have at it. All right, I assume that's
really have him.
Hmm?
I should really just have him cheat you out of this now. You're not even rolling insight to see if he's like being honest. He's like, yeah, sure, whatever.
someone else can roll if they want. This is Lily. we're
You're the
talking.
only one around him when you
Lily
say
pulled him
that
aside.
Oh yeah, that's true.
You pulled him aside.
Yeah,
and
this
told
is
him that.
this is Lily, and
I'm
he's
also
gonna help her.
completely-
So
I'm also completely lost because the tooth pain is fading in and out. So
yeah, Lily
Just
is
don't-
not really feeling like he's untrustworthy because he's willing to help her.
who the hell is this?
Arashi, the smith who made the +1 longsword from the +2 cursed short sword.
Oh, and he was the one who also made the ears.
Yeah, as they found out with him, kind of his not joyous reaction to see they still exist.
Fun.
So Lily can now take the ears off, right? Like randomly.
Lily can take the ears off. Yeah, I'm just going to say this actually. So she can take them off, and when she takes them off, her normal ears do return.
Okay, cool. So I guess the only thing left to do is get the information of what exactly we need to make the new set of ears.
And he'll just say, for the most part, he just needs the proper base. And in this case, the most he'll need for that will be like a pair of ears from the hide of a winter wolf would do best. Ideally, from
Alpha.
Adult.
an alpha would be ideal for this situation. And for the other materials, there will be a slight gold cost, there'll be a slight gold cost to actually doing this, but nothing substantial if they manage to bring him these.
So I'm guessing for the cat ears, he got a Hellcat or something?
You don't know what he got, to be honest, for that.
Panther
I'm not
maybe?
sure he knows what he got for that, to be honest. He
I'm
was
thinking
drunk.
a Hellcat. Because
A displacer
it's
beast.
Magically,
It could have been a
That's more of a
displacer
dog.
beast for all we know, yes. But keep in mind, he was probably very drunk when he did this.
Actually, if we were a displacer beast, probably Lily would be able to displace instead of have higher agility. But
probably a Hellcat.
that'd be a really cool ability, though. Just saying.
Yeah, that's why she's not getting it.
Yep. Lily's just gonna
All
go
right.
in and rage Smith.
Yeah, I think we're also good for now, and we can
Yep.
pick up next time because we are over 4 hours in.
Yep.
Actually, oh yeah, I don't know when we started.
I'm going by the call length.
Yeah.
Call length says I started a little late. Now.
Mine says
Yeah,
412.
4 hours, 14 minutes, 35 seconds, and I've been in the call ever since the start.
Yep. All right, so I think we're good to go, so we can end it off here. Next time, we're going to have more RP shenaniganry as you try to get shift made and possibly figure out where you're gonna go, where you want to go next. Because I don't know. I have nothing prepared.
And I will promise you guys, Lily will stay in this town over the session.
Unless she
this
wants to
next-
go out and get the Winterwolf ears, or
Right,
she wants
between
to
this
go to
session and next
Northbridge.
session.
Yeah.
She's not sneaking off.
Alana might.
She's actually not sneaking off for once.
Yep, for once.
That's yeah. Next time we're just gonna picture. Sorry.
All right, and that will be it for this session. So you can end it off.